Today we're here in downtown Phoenix. This is my Taylor Street project, and this is a less than a desirable area. Just like most areas by downtowns, they're less than desirable. And what's happening is that a lot of the less desirable real estate is getting pushed out because there's no room for growth and there's such a housing crisis. Density is needed everywhere across the country. So one of the big things is, where do you put that density? In creative areas. We overpaid for this by a large margin. We paid $1.15 million for this piece of real estate in one of the less affluent area right outside of downtown, and it was 2 duplexes, so basically 4 units. And I'll tell you that way overpriced. We probably paid close to $500,000 more than we probably should have, but the only reason we did is because you have to find pro formas and you have to find comps in an area that support what you want to do. And so I'm going to walk over and show you guys this 12-unit apartment complex that's just one lot over, and it's separated by another duplex, and then there's another 12-unit apartment complex. And based on the pro forma numbers and the resale value of what that one was, we were able to take those exact numbers and use that as real underwriting to be able to come in here so we know exactly what we're going to make. We should make about $3.8 million on this project. It's about a 14-month full cycle project. We've been in this project now for about 6 months, and now we're turning dirt on it, and we're excited to be able to come in, get the demolition done, and then go vertical. So we're going to document the entire process for you guys over the course of the next several months, share with you guys how 31 units actually gets constructed right here in downtown Phoenix on Taylor Street. And so if you guys are in the Phoenix area, you guys are welcome to drive by. It's at 1435 East Taylor Street in downtown Phoenix. Great opportunity to just be able to see and document how an overpriced, over-leveraged property turns into an asset worth millions of dollars in just a few short months. So in 13 months, 14 months, full cycle, this will turn into about a $3.8 to $4 million full cycle project of profitability. Altogether, this is just shy of a $8.5 million project in construction costs. So we're pretty excited. 6 months of architecture, engineering, and here we are turning ground on our Taylor Street project. Really excited to share the progress with you guys over the course of time. Let's take a look at why we actually did this one. Let's walk over to this project over here where there's a 12-unit new build that's 18 months old. We get a lot of calls on properties all the time. We get deal flow. I mean, I think that I probably get about 50 deals that come across my desk every single week, and 99.9% of them just go by the wayside. Bad areas, just bad demographics, whatever it is, overpriced, not a good deal, too low of rents, whatever it is, they just kind of pass through. And it's funny because when you Google map this stuff, all you see is garbage around it. When I say garbage, guys, this is the lower income social demographic areas just outside of downtown Phoenix. You drive the area, you look at it, you know that it's not the most affluent area in the entire world. But one of the things is that most areas, like if you're in cities like Las Vegas, Nevada, if you're in cities, you know, like right here in Phoenix, if you're in cities, like even right in downtown LA, if you're in cities, major cities across the United States, a lot of what happens is that there is distressed real estate, and there's not a lot of prime real estate right around there that you can develop or redevelop. So what you do is you do what's called a strategic repositioning of an asset, where you actually go in, you buy a less than desirable asset, and you level it. We've done this in multitudes of different cities, from bowling alleys, office complex, old motels, and we come in and we overpay for the physical asset that's on the property, and then we take that property and we turn it into something that's actually revenue producing, and it turns into an asset that actually cash flows and has monetary and long-term value that we turn it into. And so with this one, when we drove by, when I first got this one, I remember doing an aerial view and I could see the rooftop of this, but I couldn't see the quality of what was actually here. And so I remember sitting back thinking, it's kind of by the airport. On my way to the airport, I'll swing by, we'll take a look at it, and if it's something that is okay, maybe we'll consider it, but I thought it was just gonna be a waste of time. So I was gonna tell people, never discredit projects, because you never know until you actually show up. So one of the things here is I drove by really quick, just in lieu of just stopping by to see if it was anything at all, which I thought was gonna be nothing. And when I got here, I sat back and said, wow, I wonder what this one is renting for and what the rents are here if they would support us doing a multifamily 2 doors down, and then I wonder what the density would be. This one had 12 units on it, a little bit more of a narrow lot. So we went in, we called the leasing number on the wall. We asked them what size their units were, what they had available. They had nothing available, it was fully leased, and there was a waiting list. And so we took the square footages, we got the rent rates from these guys, and we took those numbers based on the square footages and the rental rates, and we did our formal underwriting just like the banks do. And so I always tell people, when you go in and you underwrite like the bank is like the house in Vegas. In Vegas, the house functions on a set of rules that they don't variegate from. And because of that, they're building multi multi-billion-dollar casinos with their winnings because the winnings are in their favor based on the rules that they follow. Just like banking. Banks make money based on lending money. But what do they lend on? They lend money on assets that are cash producing that can pay them back. And if you function on a house set of rules like the banks do, that's how you win. So we take these numbers from the rents here, we take the square footage, we underwrite the cost that it's going to take us to build because we have other projects in the area that we were undertaking, facilitating, finishing construction, in construction, and we know what the true cost of the construction is. So we take the underwriting for our real cost of construction, and when we take that and we take the rent rates, we sit back and I scratch my head. I said, no shit. If things compress even by 10 or 15%, we may land up being at like a $2.5 million profitability on a 14-month build. Or if they stay the same, we're at $3.8 million. And if the rents improve by the time we're done, we may be over $4 million in profitability when and if we decide to sell this property. Now, anything under 100 units, we typically sell because the property management companies, the larger ones, they'll take it in as part of our portfolio, but it's not the most desirable for them to lease, rent, and manage on our behalf. So a lot of times we'll shed off some of the smaller stuff and then we'll go in and put the money that we make here into our larger stuff. But for a lot of you guys, you have to understand that I started in this small stuff over 27 years ago, and the proceeds that I made, we self-manage, we self-perform, we use small property management companies for multitudes of years and multiple decades, and they cash produce from start to finish. And so don't discredit the way we do business now after being in the business for 27 years, because we still self-perform and still manage a lot of our retail. These properties, when you go in, you self-manage them, the value based on underwriting goes up because your net operating income increases because you're self-managing a lot of these properties. And for those of you guys that don't desire, hire somebody. That's what we do. So we'll facilitate the lease up, we'll get this thing filled, and with 31 units, we'll go in and we're posed to make approximately a $3.8 million profit. Now, if you want to see the full underwriting of this property next door on Taylor Street, comment below, show me the underwriting, and let me know that you guys want to see the full breakdown, full underwriting of how to buy a piece of land and build small multifamily in your area, and I'll underwrite it for you. Remember, we overpaid for our land by over $500,000. Some people might sit back and at the time we take down the acquisition, you might scratch your head and think that we're stupid. But I'll tell you, at the end of the day, the last person who laughs is the one with empty pockets. And our pockets are not empty when we walk away from projects like this, and we're turnkeying these projects every 14 months. That's how you compound your success.